Welcome to the Natural Cure Summit. I'm your host, Dr. Josh Axe. So excited today to have our special guest with us, Judy Seeger, ND. And we're going to be talking about how to heal the body through detoxification. And so many people today are toxic. They don't realize it. And a lot of these chronic health conditions, what we'd call these diseases of the 21st century, are on the rise because of toxicity in our food, our environment, our air, our personal care products. And Judy is going to share with us her solutions to natural healing today. And so a little bit about Judy here before I bring her on. She's been in the field of alternative medicine now for 35 years. And she got into the field because of her own personal health challenges, and she struggled with chronic fatigue, which turned into chronic colds. Basically, these would keep her down and out for a while, and so because of this, she started studying with teachers who absolutely changed her life, and she went on to become a nutritionist and a naturopath, and was the director of 2 holistic health clinics. And Judy now, now retired, is focusing on international speaking, researching, and teaching worldwide. Her passion is matched by her excellent health, and to bring that message of detoxing and cleansing that can help heal people and really bring people to the next level in their health. And so, Judy, welcome to the Natural Cure Summit.
Hey, thank you so much, Dr. Axe. I really appreciate your invite, and I'm excited about teaching this stuff to people. I want them healthy, right?
Absolutely. Well, Sayer G and myself, we're really, really excited to have you on. We started talking about who do we want to interview and who do we know brings the best content and information and the most life-changing practical content. And of course you came up because you are one of the leaders in the world when it comes to information about detoxification, cleansing, overcoming chronic health issues, and even specific issues like cancer. To kick us off, though, I know one of the things that I had read about in your bio is your amazing, amazing personal story. Can you talk about where your passion comes from and the story that got you here?
Yeah, absolutely. People always want to know, why I'm a naturopath and why I did all this clinical research and all this stuff. And it really started back when I was 18 years old, where I did have a tremendous amount of health challenges, chronic sinus infections, migraines, chronic constipation, low back aches, menstrual pain. And plus I was always getting sick. I mean, every month I was having the flu with the fever and the nausea. I was just really bad news. And so I said, something's got to give here. They've already taken my appendix out. They've taken my adenoids out, and I don't want them removing anything else. So I said, what else is out there? And of course, this was back in the day when there was no internet. So I figured out that, well, maybe this health bandwagon is what I need to jump on. So I said, okay, let me jump on there because the medical world didn't have any answers for me anymore, and I was really just getting worse. So I did. I started doing all these different things. And what I learned, one of the first things I learned was to cleanse and detox my body was very, very important, as well as building up my immune system. And I said, well, all right, I'll do that. And I started doing the cleanse, and I got really, really sick. I mean, to the point where I was, throwing up, and I felt horrible and bad headaches and horrible body odor. I mean, it was ridiculous. So I said, okay, enough of that. That's not working. But I went on to school, and that's, of course, when I became a naturopath, and my teachers taught me the right way to detox and cleanse and rebuild my body. And I really saw a difference when I did it the right way. So I got myself on track, and all my symptoms eventually went away. And then I applied those principles in my clinics and saw the same results. And of course, these people paid me money to get seriously better, and they did. And they were unbelievably surprised how this detox cleanse program really worked. They just didn't know. A lot of people know about fasting, but they didn't know about the detox and doing it the right way. So here I am. I'm now 56 years old. I have no symptoms. I feel great. I look great. I'm ready to continue sharing all this info with everybody else on a worldwide basis, because every country I travel to internationally has got the same problem. People are sick everywhere. It's not just the United States or North America. It is everywhere. And so I want to share what I learned. And I made it pretty simple, I think, by having things that people could do that's practical, easy to do, and not so expensive. They don't need to go to a big clinic anymore, or they don't need to go to a resort to cleanse out. There's plenty of things for them to get started, and that's what we want to teach them today.
Love it. Absolutely. Well, let's jump right in and start talking about detox. And, when I think when people think about detox, Judy, the first thing they get is a little bit intimidated. I know I mentioned the word to my dad, and he's like, doing a detox, that sounded like, he was basically going to drink only vegetable juice for 30 days. And it was, he just thought it sounded impossible. But what are the steps in somebody doing their first detox? And should people be intimidated by detox?
Yeah, that's a great question, because that's exactly what happens. 30 days, who wants to do 30 days of anything? That's tough. And that's exactly what I did in the beginning. And I couldn't even make it past day 10. I mean, I really got sick, right? So I really felt like a failure then. So here's the deal, is people need to understand that it's not intimidating when you do it in small chunks. And it's also safer, and it's also more effective. And, people think, well, no, but longer is better. And, doing it for 30 days should be better, getting rid of all those detox. Well, yes, you can do it for 21 days or 30 days and do the whole program. But what will happen is, because you deprived yourself so long, many times people just go back to their old habits. It's just too much stress. So we'll talk about that in this program, of what they could do to make it practical and all that. But the first thing first is, how do people really start doing the very first one? And it's not just about, oh, let's just go juicing and that's it, we're going to do a fast. No. First thing first is really get a plan going. I know that when I make a plan, it makes things happen in a more organized way. Plus, you save money, and everybody likes to save money, right? It's like if you go to the grocery store and you don't have your grocery list, you end up buying things you really don't need, right? I mean, that's pretty common. But when you have a plan to detox and cleanse your body, you really know, okay, this is what I have to get. This is what I need to schedule for my time. This is what I need, and it just makes you feel more organized. Another thing is that it really does save time when you know to detox and cleanse your body. You really know, okay, this is what I have to get. This is what I need to schedule for my time. This is what I need, and it just makes you feel more organized. Another thing is that it really does save time when you know that, okay, this is the time I'm scheduling for my cleanse. This is the therapies I'm going to use. These are things I need to buy. And you make a schedule. And it could be on paper. It could be on your computer. It doesn't matter. But just so you see, okay, here it is. I know exactly what I'm going to do. And I recommend for people, when they're starting, just start a 3-day detox cleanse. That's it. 3 days, simple, usually on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It works very nicely. And it's just it's more of a feeling of, I could do 3 days. Anybody could do 3 days, right? It's more of a mental jump of saying, hey, you know what? That's doable. And that's exactly what people in my clinic would say, that it was really doable. So the first thing is, when people get into starting, is that there is a trick that I'm not seeing on the internet anywhere, any of these people teaching this stuff. But this is the golden nugget I want to teach the people on the summit, is that there are some pre-cleanse startup things that will really get people better results. And that's what it's all about. And pre-cleanse means that when you do these things ahead of time, that you're going to have your energy increased, you're going to have your immune system boosted up, you're going to manage stress better, and it will help to detox faster. And that pre-cleanse tip is just phenomenal, because I don't want anybody, if they're not willing to detox and make the plans and the schedule and all this stuff, it's a lose-lose situation is really what happens. They're going to lose energy. They're going to lose immune strength. They're going to lose sleep, lose their health, really, lose stamina, lose their sex drive. Nobody wants to lose that. So that's the whole deal, is we need to get them pre-cleanse a few days ahead of time. We'll go in more detail on that in a minute. But get them so that they plan it, they prepare, and then they proceed into the whole system of getting their cleanse ready. And that's where they're going to see the results That's where we want the people to be at, not just willy-nilly, oh, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and do a cleanse. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking a little bit more organized, a little bit more structure so they get better results.
Now, what are the symptoms that somebody might be toxic? Because I think, obviously we hear detoxing is good for us. How does somebody know that they need to go and do a detox?
Well, the big thing is that when people are toxic, that they, there's so many things that happen. And what the main thing is that they're not going to feel good. The chronic fatigue is huge. The not sleeping well is huge. Weight gain, of course. Everybody thinks, oh, I'm just, overweight because I'm eating poorly and not exercising. Yes, but that's also where toxins are stored in the fat. Also, memory loss, hormonal issues, many diseases come from that. And those are all signs that the body is extremely toxic and causing a lot of breakdown in the body. See, cellularly, the cells have the job of taking in nutrients, of getting rid of toxins on a daily basis. And when that doesn't happen, then the elimination organs get jammed up. So the kidneys, the liver, the colon, the lungs, the skin, all the normal elimination organs get jammed up. And then what happens is that the body can't get rid of those toxins fast enough. And then things build up, get overworked, and the body just says, hey, I can't handle this. And the disease sets in. And many, many diseases can step in, anything from arthritis to inflammation, aches and pains to cancer. All kinds of stuff step in. But really, it just comes down to get rid of those toxins, and then the body begins the healing process.
Yeah, I know one of the things that you specialize in, and I've read a little bit that you've talked about, is chronic fatigue and how that plays a role, which I want to get to in just a few minutes. But before we get into that, where do these toxins come from? What are our biggest exposures? What do people need to look out for when it comes to toxic exposure?
Yeah, there's a ton of toxins everywhere. The average amount of toxins that come in now that are new, that are approved by the FDA, is 25,000 new toxins every single day. And where do these come from? They come from all kinds of places. Of course, the number one place is the food. So the foods that are in the fast food, the hamburgers, the French fries, the soda, all that stuff is just really building up and causing the body to break down because it can't handle it. And so then it goes into fat where it stores it. People don't know that being overweight is really caused from toxins being stored somewhere. When you eat that hamburger, French fries, and soda, or whatever toxins that you're eating at a fast food place, processed food, those toxins have to go somewhere in your body if it cannot be eliminated. So it goes into the fat of your body. That really is what fat does. It's protecting you. It is taking care of your organs so that it doesn't cause major damage. It's like a damage control part of your body. And so it's very important, yes, to lose weight, but also to get rid of those toxins, right? The other places that toxins come in is from water, from tap water, from showers, from your bottled water that has all the chemicals leaching in there from the plastic. People think that they're drinking all this water and hydrating themselves. Yes, that's great. However, the challenge is the plastic leaches, and then the plastic causes hormonal issues and disrupting the hormones and causing an imbalance. So that's another issue. The toxins come in from the air that you breathe. People who travel back and forth to work and they're sitting in traffic, and the gas fumes from the cars, from just going by construction sites, from the office, from the carpet to the walls to the paint, the lighting. It's just everywhere. I wish I could put everybody in a bubble that protects them from these toxins, but that's not possible. It's just everywhere, which is why it's so important to get rid of the toxins. Now, I used to say, here and there, do 3 days and whatnot. But, we're going to talk about that. No, there's actually things that need to be done on a daily basis because these toxins really build up and cause a tremendous amount of damage. So the people need to understand that from the things that they eat to the things that they drink to the cosmetics, the personal hygiene, the shampoos, the conditioners, the underarm odor, to all these things are building up and building up to the point where people really need to focus now on getting rid of it on a daily basis so it doesn't build up and cause disease. That's really what we're talking about here.
Wow. Well, I know one of the things people are going to have questions about, which we'll get into in a minute, is the food. And what detox are you talking about? Because there are thousands of different types of detoxes out there. Before I ask you that, though, there are some people listening that may not even have any specific health issues. So is it good to detox anyways, whether you have a health issue or not?
Yes, because what I'm seeing in my 35 years is that years ago, people didn't have that much toxic issues. There weren't that many chemicals. But now it's really scary. I mean, when you look around and you see and hear and research as much as I do, the hundreds of thousands of toxins that are out there, everybody needs to detox really on a daily basis. And I'm not talking anything heavy duty. I mean, you don't have to do, all these therapies like coffee enemas and colonics every day. No, I'm talking about just simple things that they could eat and drink and do on a daily basis to help their elimination organs. Remember, I was saying the liver, the colon, the kidneys, the skin, the lungs, those are your major elimination organs. When those are eliminated and working correctly, it's fine. But when all these toxins are coming in, and so many, they're just overworked and underpaid organs, right? So we need to help them. And so everybody needs to detox and cleanse on a regular basis. I mean, even if you don't do it daily, but at least 3-4 times a week, do something to help get rid of the toxins. It's just not possible, unfortunately, to live in our world and not be inundated with all these toxins. I wish I was, as I'm traveling around the world, I'm speaking from Thailand now, I thought, oh, good, Thailand's got like a little Shangri-La. It's going to be beautiful and no, my goodness, I was so wrong. The amount of pollution in the air is everywhere, and people wear masks here to try to protect themselves, which doesn't work. So yes, it is everywhere, and people need to do something so that it doesn't build up and they can really live healthy. And when they do that, I'm actually seeing people get rid of their illness, get rid of their chronic fatigue, sleep better, feel better, think sharper, all that stuff, if they work on it just a little bit every day. That's all it takes.
Okay, well, I absolutely agree. One of the things I want to ask you next is, and then we're going to jump back and I'm going to ask you some other questions, but what are some of the best foods and detox methods that you recommend? Because as I mentioned, there are hundreds of different detoxes out there, from master's cleanse to vegetable juice cleanses to different herbals for parasite cleanses. What detox methods do you recommend? And then are there any that you don't recommend that you think are maybe harsh on the body?
Yeah, great question. That's the whole issue is people jump on the internet, they say they want to do a detox to lose weight, and I just shudder at that. It's actually dangerous because someone who's overweight or someone who's chronically sick and has some issues that they've been working on, and then they jump right into do detox and cleanse, will get the same reaction that I did when I was in my 20s. They're going to get very sick. They're going to be throwing up. They're going to get heart palpitations, dizziness, lightheadedness. All these things can build up very quickly because it's too much of a stress. When you are having a health challenge and then you go to a detox cleanse mode, it is a tremendous amount of stress. It is one of the hardest things a person can do to their body is to try to get rid of these toxins so quickly that you just say, oh, I want them out tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. It takes a lot of work for the body to get rid of poisons. It's just, I wish I could take people and unzip their body, hose them down, get rid of all the toxins, and then zip them back up. I used to say that in my clinic to my people all the time, but it doesn't work like that. It's a process that the body has to go through. So jumping from, here you are today, and then tomorrow you're going to do a big detox is not really the way to go. That's why I recommend the pre-cleanse, where people take a few days, get their mindset into, hey, I'm going to do a cleanse. I'm going to get myself ready. I'm going to start eating light. I'm going to start, doing some gentle cleansing and then do the actual 3-day cleanse. But the ones that I recommend are not the ones that I see all over the internet that is just a quick, drink some olive oil and lemon juice. Well, yes, that could work. I mean, that's how I was taught actually 35 years ago by my teachers. Oh, yeah, just drink a cup of olive oil followed by 1 cup of lemon juice. And boy, is that hard to do. I never could do it, never did get it done, but it did work for some people, right? Well, so what I learned when I went to school and then worked in the clinics is really take your time and get your body ready. And so the major cleansing that I recommend is start with the food. That's the easiest way to go. So lemons and using that in your water and taking a whole fresh lemon. I never recommend the lemons that you buy that are already prepackaged, but fresh lemon, squeeze it in a quart of water and drink that down throughout the day. And you think, a lemon, what's with the lemons? Why are they so great? Well, because the lemon helps to get the liver, which is the major detoxification organ in the body, and it starts to help it to cleanse. Remember, we're not there to substitute these organs and do the job for them. We're there to help them to do their job. So by taking the lemon, it starts to get the toxins working to flush it out. And then the gallbladder, of course, which is attached underneath the liver, gets some help to break down the fats. The fats, remember, are where the toxins are stored. We talked about that. And so we want to help the body break it down. So drinking fresh water with the fresh lemon squeezed in throughout the day is fantastic. The golden nugget trick here, though, is to have it the first thing when you wake up. So when you wake up in the morning, as soon as your feet hit the floor, go into the kitchen, pour yourself some room temperature purified water, and then add a half a lemon into it. I mean, it's strong, right? But man, that really does it. Why? Because all night long you've been sleeping and your body has been in a restful mode. And so all those toxins have been kind of just sitting there, not doing their thing, because of course you haven't gone to the bathroom, you're not sweating, nothing's happening, right? So in the morning when you wake up, the very first thing to do is to get something to flush it out. So having 1, even 2 glasses of water with that half a lemon squeeze is the best time of day to get your detox going. That actually is the tip to do it on a daily basis. The other type of food that's excellent are the beets. Now, beets are fantastic because it has a compound in there called betaine that gets the liver, to flush out the toxins. So raw beets, steamed beets, shredded beets, any kind of beets that you could get into your body, juice them, cook them, I don't care. But 1 medium-sized beet a day is one of the best detox methods that you could use for a daily detox, and a good place to start as well. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people tell me they don't like beets, they don't like the color, the taste, I don't know what the problem is, but they don't like it. So another great food is carrots. Carrots are, of course, are high in fiber, but again, high in beta carotene. But it's a great detoxifier, again, for the liver. A lot of people are familiar with carrot juice, and that's a good place to start, having a carrot juice every day. But it is not necessary. You could even just cook it, steam it, shred it up, munch on it all throughout the day. Again, the high fiber plus the nutritive qualities of the carrots cleanses the liver, gets it going, and helps your body to detox. So every day, either beets or carrots, probably not a good idea to have both because they're high in sugar content and natural sugar, and it'll be a little bit too much. So choose one or the other. And then another great detoxifier is fantastic is dark greens, dark leafy greens, meaning spinach and bok choy, Swiss chard. All these dark leafy greens are fantastic to get into your system because, again, they have minerals, they have enzymes, they have vitamins. Yes, but they also, when they come into your bloodstream, your blood cells say, yes, I have the nutrients that I need to do my job. Therefore, I can get rid of the toxins. And that's exactly how it works. When your body has the minerals, the vitamins, the enzymes, it gets it into the bloodstream. It says, okay, I can let go of the things that don't belong here, and gently and slowly pushes it out. People think that you need to take some kind of special formula to get rid of toxins, but it's really this simple. Lemons, beets, carrots, dark leafy greens, that's the place to start. And that's the place where people will see and get the most bang for their buck. Not so much the supplements. I mean, yes, there are some out there maybe, but I really don't push them so much. I really say, let's get the food base going so that they can see the difference on a long term. It's not just, hey, we'll do the 3 days, we're going to detox. No, we need to make sure we're going to do something gentle, something effective every single day. And this is the formula that I have found has worked great.
Well, I love it here. It makes total sense to me. So let's talk about some of the things that can happen for the colon specifically. So I want to just break this down. The colon, what are your top three things to detox the colon? And then your top three things to detox the liver.
Okay, so colon is the first place that they always have to start. People always ask me, where do I start cleaning out my body? Do I start with the liver? Do I start with the colon? Do I do the kidneys, the skin? Where do I start? First place, always, always, always. And if they get nothing else out of this, this is the nugget, the golden nugget, is start with the colon. Why? Because the colon, that 6 feet organ that we don't like to think about or talk about too much, but really has an important job, is to take your food that your body has been done with and get all the nutrients out of, and it's to get it out of your body, right? The challenge is because we are living in a world of fast food, there's stress going on in our lives, we're sedentary, we don't exercise enough, that the colon ends up getting in trouble and having all these things happen to it. And so diverticulosis comes in, irritable bowel comes in, ulcerative colitis, polyps start to form. And that's not because we're doing the right things, we're doing the wrong things, and the colon is paying the price, right? So what do you do to change that around? Well, yes, there's some herbs that they could take, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the main thing with the colon is that you understand that it has to be cleansed out first, because that way, when the toxins are released in the body, then it has a way to go that it is flushed out through the colon. If the colon is plugged up on any level, I mean, there's three parts of the colon. There's the ascending colon, the transverse, the descending. That's just the areas where the body can get plugged up. But if that's plugged up in any of those areas, then when the toxins start to flush out, where is it going to go? It cannot go through the colon. It's going to go up. And that's where the vomiting starts. And of course, I could attest to that. It was a horrible experience. And I don't want anybody to go through that. And so by cleaning the colon out and making sure there's a clear avenue, then the people who are doing the cleanses won't have any issues of being nauseous and not feeling well. Okay, so what are the three things that people can use to cleanse out the colon? Well, first, of course, is the foods, like we mentioned, is the fiber foods. So carrots and beets, yes. Having steamed vegetables, yes, they're all very important. But also making sure that they're having it throughout the day. Now, the challenge I'm seeing in the clinic days was that people were eating these salads and thinking they were flushing out, but they weren't getting enough of the right kind of fiber to clean out the colon, because the salads are very harsh on the body to break down. I'm not one of these raw foodists that think that that's going to clean you out all the time. I think that it's a hard type of fiber when it's raw, that the consistent type of meals is raw. I know personally that from watching people on the raw food diet, it was tough on them. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying when you're cleansing, you might want to use different kinds of fiber to get into those pockets in the colon to clean it out. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about psyllium husks are fantastic. I'm talking about flaxseed that is ground up fresh. Talking about apple pectin is fantastic. Any one of those three has natural fibers in there that cleanses out the colon. So how can people take those? Well, psyllium or apple pectin, any of these type of fibers are easy to take when you put in a smoothie, right? So just taking a teaspoon, putting it in a smoothie that you make in the morning with, let's say, almond milk and a little bit of green powder, any kind will do, and then adding the psyllium, the flaxseed, the apple pectin, even chia seeds. I know people have been asking me about that. Yes, those all work great. Just a teaspoon, starting out with that, putting it in a smoothie, blending it up, maybe adding a few berries like raspberries, strawberries are fantastic, and drink that down. And that fiber, there's something about it. And here's the experiment that people could do is take a little bit of teaspoon or a pinch even of psyllium husk or apple pectin or flaxseed, put it in water, watch what happens. It swells up and it looks kind of like jello. Well, that's exactly what happens in the colon. And so many people ask me, oh, is that safe? And it's going to take away minerals in my colon. I'm like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. What it is that it's like a little scrubby bubble action. It gets into the colon and scrapes out any of the fecal matter that's in the lining. I know we don't like talking about it, but this is what it really does. And it cleans out those pockets, those diverticuli and the polyps and all those crusty things that don't belong there. And it just gently scrubs it out and then flushes it out. And there's no cramping. It just goes through your system and you have great bowel movements, way better, I'm finding, than people who eat salads all the time. So that's the second part of this. The third part, of course, is to taking an herb, and this is where I do recommend some fresh herbs, some good quality herbs. Go down to your health food store, get something like Cascara sagrada. Cascara sagrada or senna they've been around forever. I mean, since the world has been created. These are herbs that create a peristaltic movement in your colon. Well, what does that mean? It means that when you're not having good bowel movements every day, and most people do not, you're supposed to have at least 2 to 3 bowel movements a day, preferably after your meals, that you need to get things moving. So yes, the fiber is good to clean out, but sometimes the colon doesn't have a good movement going on, and you need something to encourage it, to say, hey, you've been laying around there a long time and we need to get you moving. And so Cascara sagrada and senna, either one of those herbs, not both together, but one or the other, are ones that will cause a little bit of movement in your colon. And then it will say, okay, great, I can clear it out because now I have a way to do that. That is one of the best detox recipes I could give the listeners, is to combine those things. So you have the fiber-rich foods that they start eating, right? And then the next part you do is having the psyllium or apple pectin or the flaxseed in your smoothie. That would be number 2. And then the third part is to have the herbs, Cascara sagrada or senna, to take. And how much, it depends. Do it at nighttime, do it first thing in the morning, just get it going, and as well as the food. And then there you go. That's a very nice colon cleanse to get things going. Now, the second part, of course, that you asked is about the liver. How do you flush out the liver with the toxins? So the next part is, after the colon is going, you've got that, the whole system, then you say, well, hey, what about doing a liver flush? Yes, you could do the liver flush. That's fantastic. But what does that include? Well, again, first thing is the food, right? So we're going to do the lemon water. We're going to make sure that you're drinking the lemon to help the liver to detoxify. You're eating either your beets or your carrots, which are your basic liver foods. But then the next part, of course, is what therapy do you use to get it going? Well, this is where I believe that a good flush comes in. So the first part is having the liver flush is the coffee enema. And you would think I was going to talk about the coffee enema with the colon, but I really don't. I actually put it with this. Why? Because coffee is what stimulates the liver more than anything, not drinking it. If you drink coffee, what happens is that the acid really breaks down in your stomach and changes the pH in your stomach. And now you have a problem. Now you're going to change the stomach acid into a more completely acid state where it's imbalanced. And we don't want that. We want it coming up through your colon so that it stimulates the liver and gets the liver so that it says, hey, I could let go of some of these toxins because I'm getting stimulated. And that's exactly what it does. So using that or a colon hydrotherapy, going to a professional colonic person that has been trained and asking them to add coffee to their water and then doing it that way. But coffee is great to stimulate the liver. Another thing to stimulate the liver is the actual cocktail, what I call the liver flush cocktail. And, you know, I've written an ebook about it. There's many different ways to do it because I see, you know, the olive oil and lemon juice thing. But really, the recipe comes down to starting out slowly and not going quite so quickly on the olive oil and lemon juice. So a blend of a few tablespoons of olive oil, yes, having a whole fresh lemon squeezed with a little grapefruit juice because grapefruit is a wonderful astringent for the liver. And then adding maybe a little bit of ginger would also help to stimulate the liver and calm the stomach down. So what happens is then when they do the 3-day cleanse is at nighttime, they drink this liver flush. They put in the blender with the grapefruit, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of the lemon juice, and then the ginger, and then drinking that down, that alone will stimulate the liver enough so that it says, hey, I could let go of some of these toxins. I could get rid of what's been in there. And then the morning they wake up, then that's when they drink the lemon water again. So that's really the basics with the liver flush. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated. It's the foods as always, the lemon, the beets, and the carrots, and then doing a coffee enema, and then having the liver cocktail, what I call the liver flush cocktail, to drink that at night. So if they're doing the Friday, Saturday, Sunday cleanse, then at nighttime on Friday night is when they start. Saturday morning, they get up, they drink their water. People would have their coffee enema then. And then at nighttime again, you're doing the liver flush, and same on Sunday night. So it's each night of the 3-day cleanse is the best way to do it. Simple, it's effective, people get results and they feel better, and then they don't have to worry about, oh, am I doing it right or am I doing it wrong? No, you just do the best you can with the foods and the recommendations I'm making here, and people get results with that. It's just really that simple.
Now, what kind of difference would it be if somebody's had their gallbladder removed?
Right, that is a concern a lot of people are having, and unfortunately, many people have had their gallbladder removed now across the world. I'm hearing that more and more. I don't really see it as an issue because the gallbladder is gone, but the liver is still doing its job to detox, right? So they just have to just do a little bit more gentle flush. Meaning, so they could still do the foods, it's not a problem. They could still drink their lemon water and have their smoothies and all that. But I don't really see it as an issue. Of course, it's always a good idea for anybody who is listening to talk to a healthcare provider if they're concerned. But in my clinical experience, in the 35 years I've been doing thousands and thousands and thousands of these on people with their gallbladder or without their gallbladder, they've been fine. We just go gently. So that means when they do the liver cocktail, to just add a little bit of olive oil, maybe 3 tablespoons of olive oil, maybe 1 whole fresh lemon into that grapefruit juice mix, and that's it. And I've not seen any issues with that. What the symptoms would be is the stomach might feel a little bit off. Maybe there'd be a little bit of bloating, like it's a little bit too much. But really, overall, I've not seen that. I've seen most people, if they do the pre-cleanse, where they're getting their body ready and eating light for a few days ahead of time before they do the actual flush, they don't have that problem. It's the people that, like I say, they, one day they say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and do a detox. Those are the ones that get in trouble. And we're not talking about that, right? We're talking about doing it safely, effectively, with the maximum amount of results by doing the pre-cleanse first. That's really the whole trick here, is to do that.
Well, Judy, I know you have a fantastic 130-page ebook that goes over how you do a liver detox. Where can people find this ebook?
Right. So I will be having that on the website at www.judydetox.com. And people could go right over there and look at the book there. That's where I've had people get some amazing results. I put together all the liver flushes. I review them. I rate them if they're easy, medium, or hard to do. I give them the results of what to expect. And I just really put together a whole comprehensive package on there. In fact, if I could share this testimonial, I have somebody, Alice Briggs, and she said that I purchased your book this weekend. I also did one of the cleanses, which I was amazed at. I did the one on page 53 and was astounded at the amount of stones that came out. It was extremely helpful and beneficial. I feel great, and I had been sick for at least 6 months. I have celiac disease, so it is imperative that I do all I can to keep my gallbladder. Thank you for making this information available. And that's just one of many testimonials. People have told me over and over that, the way I do the pre-cleanse, and I know we can't go into a lot of detail because of time, but I have that all in the ebook, and I have all the review of how to do it, which therapies, the natural therapies that they could do. There's many of them that they could do at home, and include all this, and that's where they get the results, just like Alice Briggs did here. That's typical when they follow the instructions, right? And they get the idea. And I also include email questions if people want to email me and say, hey, I'm not sure about this flush or whatever. I'm more than happy to answer their questions, make sure they get on track, stay on track, and most of all, get the results that they're looking for.
I love it. Well, great information, Judy. Well, want to encourage everybody, check out judydetox.com. Again, that's judydetox.com. And some of the main things that I got, Judy, I really loved you breaking down these specific cleansing protocols. Number one, if you want to start cleansing your colon, add in some of those more fiber-rich foods that Judy talked about. I think are fantastic. More vegetables, more fruits, sprouted nuts and seeds. Chia and apple pectin are amazing to add into a smoothie, so start adding those in. And then taking specific herbs that help support cleansing the colon. And then liver, start doing that lemon water in the morning. Eat more beets and carrots, whether that's in juice form, raw form, or steamed form. And then coffee enemas, not just for the colon, but even more so for the liver. Love that piece of advice. And create a liver cocktail, 3 tablespoons olive oil, some grapefruit juice, lemon juice, and ginger. And Judy, this has been fantastic. I know one of the things that so many of people can get from this is that liver detoxification isn't just for somebody who's chronically ill. This will help that person, but it's for anybody who wants to live and be healthy the rest of their life. And I think no matter who you are, you can benefit from doing a detox. And again, if you want to get that free 130-page liver detox book, go to judydetox.com. That's Judy with a Y, judydetox.com. Judy, I want to say thanks. This has been awesome. I know that I've learned so much. And just any final words you have for people, encouraging them on why they should detox and encouraging them on how easy it can actually be.
Absolutely. And I do appreciate you having me on here. I had a great time. I always love teaching. The reason why people need to detox is because these chemicals are not going away. They're getting worse in our environment, in our water, in our food supply, in the food that we eat. It's everywhere. And unfortunately, I cannot put people in a bubble, so they have to do a detox on a regular basis. So it's imperative. But here's the deal. Here's my final encouragement to everybody is, look, don't get it perfect. Don't think you have to get it absolutely right. Just do it. Just get out there, do the best you can. Even if it's lemons in the water, drink that. Just get started with what you have, with where you're at, with what you could afford in your budget, and get started. And that way, at least you'll get the toxins moving in the right direction, which is out of your body, so you could feel healthy and alive. That's really what it's all about.
Amen, Judy. I couldn't agree with you more. Well, Sayer G and myself want to thank you for coming on here to the Natural Cure Summit. And we've covered some great content in terms of how to heal through detoxification. Hey, everybody, this has been Judy Seeger and Dr. Josh Axe with the Natural Cure Summit. Hey, thanks for being on.